It was football first for me. NFL was my goal. And junior year, back half of sophomore year, I played well. Junior year, I was one of the main guys. Like, I never came off the field.
And this is at UNC?
At Carolina.
Okay.
And we just got Butch Davis, who you remember him back from the Miami days. And when Butch came in, changed the culture, we started winning games. Chuck Pagano was our D coordinator, and that staff was insane. And Chuck had me playing great. And junior year, I was the guy. It was my time. I'm like, I am good enough to play in the NFL. Like, this could get
What
real.
position you were playing?
I was a linebacker.
Okay.
Look like a wide receiver now.
Yeah.
But, and then the first game against James Madison, I got hurt. Keep in mind, I just learned to play guitar like the year before that. Dorm room, picking with buddies. Ben Lemming, offensive lineman, would play. I would sing. He'd teach me some stuff on guitar, but I wasn't very good. And I think it was a Brad Paisley song. We were just sitting there singing it. And he was like, dude, you got a good voice. You should be a country singer. And that was like the equivalent of saying, you should go be an astronaut. Like,
yeah.
Cool, let me go do that real quick. But then that junior year, I busted my ankle up real bad. First game of the year, I'm done. It's just like everything you ever worked for is gone. That year, I learned to play better, learned more songs. Hadn't written anything yet. Going into my senior year, couldn't move as well. I wasn't the same player. And my dad had just died. So it was just like everything fell apart within 12 months. And I was done with football at that point. I didn't care. But I loved writing songs. I wrote my first song about my dad. I'm miserable. Took a trip down to UGA, wrote a song called Georgia Girl. In the basement, I saw the album I put together like in college at this place called Night Sound Studios in Carborough. And it's not very good, but it's like it's got some stuff on it. It's like, okay, he could do this. I was writing everything by myself, wrote one with Brian Kelly from FGL. But I was talking to Riley recently about I think some of the songs he's written recently he wrote by himself. And he had the same mindset as me. It's like, I used to write all the time by myself. Why am I not doing that anymore? And that's how he wrote some of these new songs by himself. And that's was my mindset too on the last album. And so I just learned to write songs that way and write them real production. Back then, before tracks and all that took over country music. And so that was my world. And after Carolina, I went and worked at NASCAR for Hendrick Motorsports.
Okay, yeah.
We were like Jimmy Johnson, Dale Jr., Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon. And I was the rookie guys coming in. We had like 9 of us.
And when you say, so you're getting recruited, because this is a big thing that I see a lot. So Ross Chastain's a friend of the show, and I love Ross, and we've got a big partnership. We're actually highlighting the American farmer. So we bring a farmer to every single NASCAR race every single week. And, I mean, partner with an 8th-generation watermelon farmer. But getting to learn that NASCAR team, it seems like the pit crews, I mean, it's one of those things like, hey, these guys were either going to go to the NFL or come and work. I mean, these guys are monsters.
Yeah,
right?
and there was some
so
of
are
that
they recruiting
going on.
you to go?
There was some of that going on, ex-football players, ex-baseball, ex-sports, whatever. And then Hendrick put together a program where they brought in 9 or 11. I can't remember how many of us there were, but brought us all in together. We lived in a hotel. It was not a fun situation. We're getting like $17,000 a year. And that worked. That was the first program they ever put together where it was like bring all of them in, see what happens. A couple of our guys within like 5 or 6 months were on Jimmy's or Jeff's crew or whoever, Junior. And I was post-football, post-dad dying, writing songs. Like the only thing I loved in the world was writing songs. And I'd go back every day after practice to the hotel by myself and just pick on guitar and write songs. And that's when I wrote that first kind of college album.